And it's very, very good in the mid-rangey decks because it shores up the early game.
Yes.
But in aggro, please stay away from this thing. So constructed, it's okay. An arena, I'm not sure. I think it's okay in arena.
No, I don't like it in arena.
Is it one of those, depending on how aggressive your deck is, things?
I guess it actually could work if you're playing like a
Late game.
low drop warlock deck.
Maybe. Or the other way it could work is if you're playing the mage deck with a bunch of flame strikes.
Yeah, that could work.
I think it's okay. It depends a lot on your draft.
I probably wouldn't drop this in arena.
Okay. This is why Birdie's on, by the way. He plays way more arena than me. But anyway,
But I'll play constructed as well.
Yeah, he plays a lot of constructed, but basically the two Swedish players play a lot more than any of the other players on the team, and Birdie plays about 30 or 40 times more arena than I do. Anyway, on to Deathlord. Now, Deathlord is a 3-mana 2/8. That's a good start.
It's a rare as well.
It's a rare, yeah, we're on to the rares now. Taunt, Death Rattle. Your opponent puts a minion from their deck into the battlefield. Now, that is one hell of a drawback, but that is one hell of a body.
Indeed, and
that's crazy.
It's Death Rattle as well, so it's not bad to cry.
Works with Undertaker, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't see this with Undertaker. I see this in two situations. One is the sideboard in against Zoo, because their only way past it is silence, and if they silence it, you're like, sure.
Yeah.
And the other way I see it is there's a card later on called Wailing Soul, which it's a 3/5 for 4 that silences all of your stuff. So you can play this with Ancient Watchers and Druid, with Wailing Souls and like the Ancient Watcher core with Keeper of the Groves, and now you have 2 silences devoted to doing your side of the board, and 2 silences that can be offensive and also more versatile. So I think you can actually run Deathlord, Ancient Watcher, and you can run all of that stuff and play a more aggressive Ancient Watcher deck as opposed to the weird taunty thing. I think it's really cool, and I would love to do that. And maybe you could even run like double Spellbreaker as well, just in case, depending on how much silence you actually need in the metagame. But Wailing Soul can actually catch 2 of the Deathlord / Ancient Watchers on one board, and if you curve Ancient Watcher, Deathlord, Wailing Soul, you're just like laughing.
It'll become awesome. It's like the return of the Watcher Druid.
It really is, yeah. Deathlord in a constructed, very, very good with the silency based decks. In arena, I'm not so sure.
No, because the minion onto the field is way too big of a drawback.
Yeah, exactly. Also, keep in mind, this is not legendary. The effect and the stats look legendary, but it isn't. That is something a lot of people were very confused about. They were like, oh, you can only run 1. I'm like, no, you can run 2. That actually happened for a while, because it's just, when you look at the stats and such, you just assume it's legendary.
2/8 for 3 mana, that's a really good vanilla.
It looks legendary, doesn't it?
It
does. But anyway, moving on to the Nerubian Egg. The 2 mana 0/2 rare with Death Rattle, summon a 4/4.
No. Except if you're running Crazed Alchemist.
I love the just no.
Crazed Alchemist or no?
Alright, the way I see this is that you play this in a couple different decks. One is if you're running Crazed Alchemist, is the main one. The other 2 decks I'd see this being played in are the Demon Warlock with Void Terrors and Shadow Flames and Power Overwhelming. And the other way I see this being played is in Shaman, so that you have an out for your Rebirths and also for your Flame Tongues.
Oh yeah.
Because you can use this with Flame Tongue, Defender of Argus, and Rebirth.
It's still a no for me. If you don't run Crazed Alchemist, don't play this.
Okay. I mean, the way I see it is it only works in those 3 decks, and that's a stretch.
Yes.
It only works in those 3 decks. Stop trying in other decks. Stop it.
You're gonna be wrong. We're both gonna be wrong.
But this is gonna be like the best card in the set.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one and the other one.
This always happens. The best card that we think is always the worst one, and this always happens. But anyway, I actually think it's really, really good in Shaman and Crazed Alchemist decks.
It's a really good token. I mean, yeah. Totem.
In Shaman, in Totem, yeah. It's really, really good in Shaman because of Flame Tongue Totem, Defender of Argus, and Rebirth, and Rockbiter, which they all run. So yeah. Shaman has a lot of ways of enabling this, and none of those are like cards specifically designed to enable Nerubian Egg. You play them anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna change my mind right here. I'm gonna play this in Shaman because it's a really good totem, actually.
Yeah, it's a totem that summons a 4/4.
Yes.
That's
and Shamans don't have that many 2-drops.
They have two 2-drops now. They have, well, 3. They have Flame Tongue Totem, this, and the Smiles Ooze, which we're getting to later.
Well, you're not going to draw Flame Tongue Totem on empty board.
No, you're not, exactly. So we've got the Smiles Ooze coming up in a couple cards. And
Yes.
we've got the egg. Now, constructed, I think in Shaman.
Yeah.
Arena, God no. Please don't.
Actually,
What does
I'm
this
not
do in Arena
sure.
besides make your opponent not want to play Flame Strike?
I think I would play this in Arena. I'm not. It's a maybe.
In Shaman?
Yeah.
The problem is it's rare, so you might not get it if you're in Shaman, and then with other classes it's just a junk rare.
I mean, if you get it in Shaman, I might pick it.
If you get it in Shaman and
Might.
you have like one Rock Biter and like a Flame Tongue, I think I might pick it.
Yeah.
Alright. On to Sludge Belcher. What kind of name is that? Anyway, 5 mana 3/5, rare, taunt, death rattle, summon a gold char footman. It's a 1/2 slime with taunt.
It's a bad Senjin.
This is what happens when people try too hard to make good Senjins. Don't. Senjin is better. Just stop it.
Senjin
stop
is
it, stop
good
it,
as
stop
it
it.
is.
Like, Senjin is good. You don't need to make, like, it's like they're saying Senjin is good, Fen Creeper is bad. We need to give Fen Creeper a helping hand by making a gold shard footman strapped onto the end of it. No, it's still bad. Like, you can't just combine Senjin and gold shard footman and make it rare and think it's good. Like, that doesn't work.
That is basically what it is. That
It's
is
not
exactly what it is.
It's not a bad card, but it's not good. Like,
It's mediocre.
the funny thing is, I actually was having a discussion earlier where it was like, well, it's a 5-drop taunt. You may need that in a taunt heavy deck. And I'm like, Druid of Claw. And it's like, but what happens if you're not playing Druid? And I'm like, so what other class wants a 5-drop taunt? It's like, well, you can run a taunt deck with Druid. And I'm like, yeah, Druid of the Claw.
Well, I mean,
There's your not to mention 5-drops in the set are insane. Like, you got Loatheb and Spectral Knight to compete with.
I don't like this one.
I hate this card.
Yeah.
It's not even interesting. It's just a gold char from a Senjin strapped together.
When you say it like that, yeah, I hate it.
Like, ugh, it's such a lazy design.
I hate the design on it as well. I mean, the artwork.
The art
looks
looks
weird.
Yeah, the art looks weird. It's just, it feels like a lazily designed card.
Yes.
It feels super lazy.
Like the intern did it.
Yeah, it's so lazy. Now in Arena it's okay. It's better than Fen Creeper in Arena, I think.
Yeah.
It's a rare is the problem, so it might be competing with more powerful stuff than Fen Creeper. But it's still pretty good. You might pick it. I think it's a mid pick. It's an okay pick if your other options are like Demolisher and something else. It's an okay pick. You don't feel bad about getting a Sludge Belcher. It's just like, it's a bit like picking a Senjin, but less happy.
I mean, you don't want to pick the 6/5 taunt. What is it called?
Lord of the Arena.
Yeah, you don't want to pick it, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah, Booty Bay Guard. This is way better than Booty Bay
same thing.
Guard. This
Yeah.
is way better than Booty Bay Guard. Now, the original version of this, and I'm glad that the original version was spoiled, and it was a 4/3. 4/3 would have been horrible in Arena and in Constructed, but at least it would have been better designed. It would have been a horrible
that would
card.
have been so bad.
It would have been terrible, but it would have been better designed than this. Because
Yeah.
this is about as lazy of a design as you can get. And I'm going to say it because, like, I want to point out, like, I mean, I play all of Blizzard's games, but I'm the first person to point out something when they screw up. And this is the worst design card in the set, I think.
I'm 50-50 on it. I mean, I won't play it the first.
No, it's good in
It won't
Arena.
be the first card I'm gonna play.
No, it's good in Arena, but I'm really annoyed about it, not because of how playable it is, but because of how lazy it is. All
Yeah.
the other cards in set, even the bad ones like Anabar Ambusher and Dancing Swords, at least are interesting. This is
They
just
have a
not
different
interesting.
mechanic.
Yeah, they have a
This is
different
like
mechanic.
we take 2 minions, put them together, throw them out.
We take 2 commons, put them together, and make it rare.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. It does not ring anything for me. So moving on to the next card before I start strangling someone. 4 mana, Wailing Soul, 3/5
this.
rare with Battle Cry. Silence your other minions, so your side of the board. I love the design on this card so much.
The Return of the Watcher Druid.
Dude, it's such a big, like, we go from the laziest card in the entire set to one of the best designed cards in the set.
Yeah.
This is a very unique card. Extremely unique. I love this card. Even if it's not that good, I love it.
This is basically what priests need, but instead of the master spell. I mean, the master spell is.
Master spell only affects your side of the board, though. This is a body that affects.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, priests need this, but reversed.
Yeah,
That's
need
what
this
they need
but
instead
reversed.
of master spell. Yeah.
Now this is actually, I could see this being played in priest, because it silences your Arcanize.
Oh yeah.
And it also silences some of your other negative effects that you don't want around. But I don't know, it's a bit gimmicky.
I see this played in a lot of decks actually.
Maybe. I mean, this in tournaments. By the way, if you want to play Freeze Mage after the set, I don't know why you would. But if you want to, good luck playing it in any tournament that enables sideboarding.
Put in 2 Wailing Souls and you win.
Yeah, basically. Because they play Frost Nova, you play Wailing Soul and hit them for 15.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Anyway, but yeah, Wailing Soul, I'm going to be playing this card in Watcher Druid with Deathlords.
I'm gonna do that as well.
It's a 3/5 for 4. It's not even bad if it doesn't do anything. It's not good, but it's not bad.
I mean, if you have 2 Watchers on board and then you play this one, it's basically I can't put words on it. It's so good.
It's worth 8 mana if you silence 2 Ancient Watchers, because you just made 2 Watchers into Yetis.
Yes.
And in the case of Deathlord, it's crazy. You just like make them into better Oasis Snapjaws.
Exactly.
Like, I love this card. I think it is a very, very well designed card. It's one of my favorite ones. Not like in the top 1 or 2, but it's one of my favorite designed cards in the entire set. I love the flavor behind this thing. I just love the card in general. Constructed with Watchers and against Freeze Mage. Arena, it's a 3/5 for 4. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I guess you could pick it if you really had to.
Bad, and it also sometimes it can be good against water elementals if they freeze your stuff. There's some random ass value that can happen to this, but the main one is also Elder Peacekeeper gets messed up by this thing, and equality.
I would never pick this in Arena as mage.
No,
never.
Because you have too many effects that you're gonna silence. Like, although in a deck like Druid maybe that don't run as many, if you don't have as many buffs, or maybe Paladin or something that is not running as many buffs or something, I would see playing this just because it's a 4 mana 3/5. I'm fine with a 4 mana 3/5 in Arena. It's not a Yeti, but not everything has to be a Yeti to be pickable.
Exactly.
It's okay. Now, on to Smiles Ooze. This is the best art in the set by far.
This is an epic, by the way.
Yeah, it's an epic. We're on to the epics now. There's only 2 epics in the set, which is kind of weird. Anyway, Echoing Ooze is a 2 mana 1/2 with Battle Cry. Summon an exact copy, that's important, of this minion at the end of your turn. Keep in mind, this only happens once. It's a Battle Cry. It's not infinite. This only happens once at the end of your turn when you play it, because it has to be played from your hand, so the new one does not have the effect. Now, first of all, before we go into anything with this card, the art is the best in the entire game. Smiles Ooze. Smile. It's not the most mechanically like good. Like, I think the best art in the set technically is Kel'thuzad, but Echoing Ooze has the most memorable art in the set. As soon as you see the smile, you can't unsee it. It's not possible. Like, it's Smiles Ooze.
By looking at it.
It's Smiles Ooze. And I hope that the golden version has like the smile expanding or something.
Oh my god.
It's Smiles Ooze. Like, have you met Smiles? He's a really nice guy. Oh my god, I love this card. Anyway, also, are all the Oozes going to be 2-drops?
Well, there's only 2 so far.
And they're both 2-drops, so we'll see. Maybe we're going to get a legendary Ooze that's like 4-drop or something. Yeah. There is a legendary Ooze in AQ40, so we actually might get a legendary Ooze at some point. But anyway, let's talk about the actual card besides the art, even though that's the best thing about it. The Battle Cry is pretty crazy. Basically, for 2 mana, you get 2 1/2s. However, because it says exact copy, anything you do to buff the original one before the end of your turn gets copied.
Mark of the Wild.
Yeah, Mark of the Wild on turn 4, or turn 3 with Wild Growth, gives you 2 3/4s with Taunt.
Yes, that is awesome. That is so good.
This is a bomb in Arena, by the way, if you're playing Paladin or Druid, because they both have buffs that you pick fairly highly. Yeah. Mark of the Wild, Blessing of Kings. Blessing of Kings is the end of the game in Arena if you get these 2 on the same turn. You get two 5/6s on turn 6.
With, oh my god, that is awesome.
It's crazy. Now, in Constructed, this is very, very good against aggro, because you can actually trade with two smaller creatures. It's going to be played realistically in 3 different decks, I think. Maybe Druid, if they're running the faster decks, because of the Power of the Wild.
Yeah.
And things, or maybe Mark of the Wild, and the Taunt decks need a 2-drop. The other 2 decks that are definitely going to play it, though, are Shaman, because of Flame Tongue Totem and Defender of Argus, because if you play it on turn 6 and Defender a Totem and the Ooze at the end of the turn also has the Defender buff.
Wait, if you give Flame Tongue Totem to this before the end of the turn, is that copy gonna come out as a 3/2?
Oh my god, it's the Crazed Alchemist logic. Yes, it is. It's permanent.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
The only reason I think it's permanent, yeah, it is, because it's Crazed Alchemist logic. When you change the state of a card, the buffs are permanent, even if they're temporary. That's why when you Crazed Alchemist something, it gets 2 extra life and the attack boost goes up again.
That is awesome.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
I actually consider playing this in Shaman.
It's a good 2-drop in Shaman. They don't have 2-drops.
Yeah, this and
Nerubian
Nerubian Egg.
This and Nerubian Egg are good in Shaman. Now, with Flame Tongue and with Defender of Argus, it's crazy. I mean, like, you can play this in Paladin. Paladin abuses this card the most. There are 3 cards that make this absurd. Knife Juggler, because it triggers twice. Sword of Justice is insane. Alright, this is what happens when you play Sword. You play Sword on turn 3. On turn 4, you play Echoing Ooze. It becomes a 2/3. At the end of your turn, it summons another 2/3 that gets buffed again to become a 3/4.
You could actually play 2 Oozes on turn
This is the
4.
nut draw. Like, turn 1 Avenge, turn 2 Knife Juggler, turn 3 Sword, turn 4 double Ooze.
Oh my god.
You just won the game.
Yeah.
And with Avenge, it's even crazier. And this is the card I was talking about with Avenge that made the Avenge like go over the top along with Mad Scientist. Because if you play this as a follow-up to Avenge, if they kill one of the 1/2s, the other one becomes a 4/4.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I like that. I'm gonna play that in Shaman, and I'm not playing Paladin that much, but I might start playing Paladin.
With Shaman players are going to love this as well. The
Yeah.
other thing is Argent Protector carries over as well, by the way, the Divine Shield.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
In Constructed, yes.
In Constructed, in Shaman, Druid, and Paladin, if you're running buffs.
Yeah.
In Druid at least. In Paladin, it's just going to see play in Sword of Justice decks, and in Shaman, it's just going to see play because you get 2 Rockbiter targets, you get Flame Tongue targets, you get Defender of Argus targets. It's just a good card in Shaman.
It's like a Harvest Golem. I mean, you can play it in aggro, you can play it in mid-range.
Like, the way I see it is that at the 3-drop slot, you got Razorfen Hunter and Harvest Golem. Harvest Golem is better because the token is a 2/1, it also lives through AoE.
Yeah.
In the 2-drop slot, we now have the Spider and Echoing Ooze. Same stats, same cost. One of them's more like Razorfen Hunter, the other one's more like Harvest Golem. In this case, the Ooze wins simply because it copies buffs.
Yeah, that is so cool.
It's really, really cool that they do this. Maybe in the next set we'll get like a 4-drop where both of them are kind of like the Razorfen Hunter thing. So we get like, like 1 per set, because I think that's a cool like comparison.
I mean, the first time I was reading this card, I didn't see the exact copy, so I mean,
Me neither.
The exact copy does so much.
It's Faceless Manipulator wording.
Yeah. God damn.
It's crazy. In Arena, as I said, this is if you are playing Paladin or Druid, unless it's like the last pick or something, it's a bomb because you just pick Blessing of Kings or Mark of the Wild and you just hold it in your hand until you get it and you win.
I'm not sure about this in Arena because you really want 2-drops that you can trust on.
Actually, if you're playing Druid on turn 2, it's really, really good because you can use the hero power to kill 3/2s.
Yeah, I guess.
In Druid, it's much, much better, and in Paladin, if you already have like 2 Blessing of Kings, it's a very, very good card. Or if you're lucky enough to get Sword of Justice, you windmill slam this.
Yeah.
Because that is literally the end of the game. That's just crazy. Anyway, this is a constructed powerhouse in certain decks. In Arena, I think, depending on your deck, it might just be very, very good. Or if you're playing Druid or Mage, I think it's actually quite good on its own. Or maybe Rogue, because on turn 2 it lets you kill their 2-drops.
It's okay, but it's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, it does depend a lot on what your buffs are looking like.
Exactly.
But I would not feel terrible picking this over, like, some random epics like Doomsayer.
No.
Because it's a good 2-drop. It's not amazing, but it's a good 2-drop.
Yeah.
On to the worst card in the set. Shade of Naxxramas. 3 mana 2/2 with stealth. At the start of your turn, gain +1/+1. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Well, it looks good.
Worst card in the set.
It looks really, really, really good, but it's terrible. I agree.
It's so bad. Like,
if it was like 2 mana, maybe.
if it was 2 mana, I think it'd be quite good, because then it's a 2-drop that on turn 3 attacks for 3.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2 mana 3/3. And I think that'd be very, very good actually in aggro decks, because you can run it as a 2 mana 3/3 that becomes a 4/4 that becomes a 5/5. Now, my original logic when I said that Shade might be good is in aggro decks you could run it as like a 3 mana 3/3 that always attacks that becomes a 4/4. But then I realized that you just want other 3-drops that do better stuff. Like, because they're probably going to kill it. A 3 mana 3/3 is not hard to kill on turn 4.
And you don't want to wait for like 5 turns to wait to...
You never want to wait to do combos with this.
No.
Ever.
Unless you're playing a gimmicky deck, that is.
Just run Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger is so much better.
It just is, and Jungle Panther is better for the fast ones. Unless, like, if it was a 2-drop, I think it'd be very, very good in aggro decks.
Yeah.
But it's not. It is not a 2-drop, it's a 3-drop, and it's terrible. Because it just sits around for 15 turns. And the worst thing is that what's going to happen is that against Druid, you're going to leave it for 15 turns and then you're going to poison seed it.
Oh yeah. No, I won't play this. I don't like it.
I think it's terrible. I think it's the worst card in the set.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it was that this is really, really, really good. But no.
No, it's not.
No, I was wrong.
Especially compared to the Ooze.
Yeah.
And also, the art just looks terrible.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's supposed to be a shade, but it looks like a cloud.
It looks like a sheep.
It does a bit, yeah. It looks like a weird ghost sheep.
Yeah.
It's too fluffy.
So, yeah. No, I wouldn't play this.
No,
I don't like it.
Constructed, no. Arena, God, no.
No.
No, just no. Alright, on to the legendaries. Starting with Baron Rivendare. The first legendary we ever saw, actually. It was in the first set of 5. By the way, looking on the first set of 5, how bad do some of those cards look now that the rest of the set is out? I see what you did there, Blizzard. You released the worst cards first, so we got hyped about them. Then you released the better cards afterwards, and you just put Undertaker in there just so we get hyped about it.
Yeah.
Now, Baron Rivendare is a 4 mana 1/7 legendary with your minions trigger their death rattles twice. This is kind of funny because there's so many negative death rattles.
Exactly. I mean, you might play this in a deck that has like loot. I mean, only positive death rattles.
I mean, I only see this in mid-rangey, slow value decks running like Loot Hoarders and Harvest Golems and things like that. But even then, it's a bit too slow.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, I mean, anyone who's trying to do the Divine Spirit Priest deck, by the way, this is a better Mogoshan Warden. So, by all means, run it. But
that is true.
I don't like this card at all. I think it's pretty bad. I don't know. Maybe I'll get proven wrong. As I said before, when we looked at this the first time, like 2 months ago now, this card is so hard to judge. Like, even when we tested it a bit in Cockatrice, we had no clue.
I mean,
I think it's bad, but it's so hard to figure out.
If the stats were like 2/6 or something, that
2/6 would be much, much better.
Yeah.
But I think it's just not good enough. It's a bit too gimmicky.
Yeah. It should work really well in gimmicky decks.
It might be good. I'm just saying it might be good, but it's so hard to judge. Like, someone's going to try it. It might be good. It's probably terrible. But someone might find a deck for it. But I don't like it. So, Constructed, no. Arena, no.
No.
Now, Feugan and Stalag we're going to talk back to back, even though they're not in alphabetical order, because they work off each other. Now, Feugan is a 5 mana 4/7 with Death Rattle. If Stalag, and it's legendary if Death Rattle. If Stalag also died this game, summon Thaddeus. Now, Stalag is the same as Feugan, but it's a 7/4 and it's the opposite. So if I just go to Stalag for a second, It's a 7/4 for the same mana cost. Feugan died this game, something that is. So basically, when one of them dies, the other one. All right. So if one has died in the game, then the other one, when it dies, it summons Thaddeus, which is an 11/11.
And it has no effects, right? Thaddeus?
Yeah, it's a vanilla card. I've just got it up right now. It's
okay.
a 10 mana 11/11. Now, I have a couple issues with these cards. Before you say anything, Birdie, I have a couple issues with this card, or these cards. One is that the whole Summon Exodia thing is really, really old, and every single card game has done it. But there's a couple other problems I have with this. One is that if it's good, Feugan Stalag mirror matches are going to be horrible to play because they benefit off your opponent.
Is there any way to actually, I mean, avoid Thaddeus being spawned?
Yeah, you have to silence the second one.
Oh yes, silence works on this.
Because it's a death rattle. So don't silence the first one. That won't do anything. Silence the second one. You have to silence the second one they play before it dies.
Yeah.
Then Thaddeus
you can't silence it after it dies.
Yeah, obviously. But anyway, now this gets really confusing when you're also playing Feugan and Stalag, because if you play Feugan and your opponent plays Stalag, if you attack his Stalag with your Feugan, he gets Thaddeus.
But you don't?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Because you played yours first. So your death rattle goes off, then his death rattle registers that yours has already happened, so he gets Thaddeus.
Oh my god.
And it gets even worse when you play Stalag, and if he kills it, you get a Thaddeus, and then if he plays Feugan and you kill it, he gets another Thaddeus. It gets even more confusing when you play a Shaman Stalag Feugan mirror, with the Rebirths, Ancestrals, and Facelesses, and Kel'thuzad.
So if he plays these at the same time and I use Poison Seeds on them, they won't trigger?
I don't think they will because they died exactly the same time, I think. Wait, no. Are you going to get Thaddeus? I have to test that.
Yeah, we should.
I'm confused. Like, I think you see the problem with these cards? Anyway, I think you have to test that. I'm definitely going to test that with yeah, we should test that as soon as Thaddeus and Feugan come out, which is 3 weeks from now, because they're in the second to last wing. So we need to test that, because, oh, that's confusing. Why would you design a card this confusing? Or cards this confusing? Like, it's so miserable playing the mirror match, because it just gets so confusing.
Yeah, it does. I guess you'll get used to it with time.
Yeah, but it's... No, you don't, actually. Like, look
at... It's the same thing as Sylvanas. You get used to it.
It's more confusing than Sylvanas.
Yeah, I guess.
Because there's 2 of them for each player.
And they both trigger off each other.
And they don't trigger if 2 of them trade with each other. It's only if it triggers with the opposite.
Yeah. But I mean, if I kill my Feugan on like turn 6 and then he kills his Stalag on turn 8, he gets the Thaddeus and I don't.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I get it as well.
No,
right?
you don't. Because his one died, not yours.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that simple, is it?
It's a bit confusing.
Now, in all honesty, Feugan is good on its own, Stalag is terrible on its own, because 7 health and 4 attack is infinitely better than 7 attack, 4 health. Yeah. So Feugan is much, much better on its own than Stalag. I think, to be honest, the only decks I really see this in, unless it's absolutely crazy, is Warrior Control, because Warrior Control are going to need to lower their curve anyway. I think removing Ragnaros and Ysera / Alexstrasza and then maybe Grommash, and I know people are going to say, oh, you're insane, but Mod Counter's been testing it, and it's actually way, way better than you guys think. For Feugan, Stalag, and Kel'Thuzad is going to be much, much better, because Feugan and Stalag, you always go through your entire deck anyway. Feugan and Stalag is mid-game, that is also late-game. And Kel'Thuzad is an absolute crazy game ender if you have any other minion on the board.
You're going to have to run 2 Big Hunters in every deck.
If Feugan and Stalag become popular, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Crazed Alchemist deck is going to be running 2... I think Crazed Alchemist is going to be a thing. Fire is very, very adamant about that. But you're going to need to run 2 BGHs in that deck because you can Crazed Alchemist Kel'Thuzad to kill it. With BGH.
Oh, yeah.
And you can Crazed Alchemist Feugan to kill it as well. So there's a couple things you can do with that, and I think that's actually legit.
You could use Crazed Alchemist on your Stalag as well to make it
useful.
Under the big game hunter radar.
Hey, that's even more confusing because now there's 2 4/7s. You have to pay attention to the names.
Yeah, they almost look the same as well.
Yeah, that's confusing. Also, random thing, Feugan's art is so much better than Stalag's. Stalag looks like a bad bodybuilding ad.
Oh my god.
He just... he looks so weird compared to Feugan.
I agree.
Yeah.
Feugan looks badass. Stalag looks like
Derpy.
The derpy twin brother.
He looks like the stupid skeleton that like lets people into the dungeon for no reason.
Yes, exactly.
But anyway, Feugan is much better than Stalag, but I hope that neither of them are that good because otherwise, you know, Constructed is going to be miserable. But there's a lot of other very good 5-drops, so I don't think they're going to see as much play as some people are hyping them up to be.
Yeah.
Now, Constructed, as I said, is confusing as all hell. Arena, I would not pick Stalag, but Feugan is a very good arena card. 4/7s for 5 are nothing to laugh at.
Yeah, that is a really good value. I mean, the value on that is insane on its own.
And in all honesty, a lot of the other legendaries you're going to get, unless it's like Ragnaros or Kel'thuzad or something, Feugan is going to be better than most of the other things you can get.
Yeah.
Apart from Karen, I guess.
And if you're really lucky, your opponent picks Stalag.
Oh jeez. Anyway, moving on. 2 more cards. Kel'thuzad. This is arguably the best art in the set, although I do think that the Smiles Ooze is the most memorable. Kel'thuzad is an 8-mana 6/8 legendary. At the end of each turn, not your turn, each turn, summon all friendly minions that died this turn. Why? Why? Why would we do this?
Reincarnation and Kel'thuzad. Kel'thuzad?
Yeah. Kel'thuzad, I think. Kel'thuzad? Yeah.
That is an awesome combo.
Yeah, you get 2 6/8s that have that ability.
I really like the artwork on that as well.
Yeah, the artwork I think on Kel'thuzad is the best in the set. I just think Smiles Ooze is the most memorable.
It's hilarious, but the Kel'thuzad is the most awesome one.
Yeah, it is. It's so powerful.
I mean, I haven't tried this card, obviously, and I'm not sure about this card. I can't put words on it yet.
I don't know how powerful it is, but it's definitely powerful.
Yeah, I can't put words on it because there's so many different scenarios with it that can occur.
That are just broken.
Yeah. So I guess I'll have to wait until it's actually released.
Yeah, I mean, like, the deck that will definitely abuse this is Shaman.
Yeah, with the rebirth.
Well, just with totems.
Oh yeah, in late game.
Yeah, in late game, you just win.
Yeah, that is true.
Or Feral Spirits as well if you top deck them late. It's crazy.
That is awesome as well.
So, I mean, I've had many discussions with people who think this is just a win more card. There's nothing win more about a 6/8.
No, it's good even if you're losing.
Even if you're losing, like, just because you're losing does not mean you have 0 minions on the board.
Exactly.
If you have 0 minions on the board, there's no card in the game that's going to get you out of that situation. Let's be perfectly honest here.
I mean, 6/8 is that. Those stats are not bad.
And it doesn't get BGH'd, so it's really hard to kill.
That's why you play Poison Seeds.
Yep, that's why you play Poison Seeds, guys. So Kel'thuzad is the 2nd best card in the set.
Which one is the best one?
We're getting to it.
Okay.
The 2nd best card in the set is Kel'thuzad, and the reason for this is, well, simply because while the card is incredibly powerful, it's a late game card, so not every deck can run it.
Yeah. It's strictly control card.
So anyway, moving on to the final and best card in the set, Loatheb, or Loatheb. Loatheb, yes. 5 mana 5/5, Battle Cry. Enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. Now, I've been told by a lot of people to calm down about this card because it's not that good, because it only works for 1 turn.
No.
It's a 5/5 for 5 that cannot be killed with removal.
You are allowed to get hyped about this card.
Or any other card on the board can't be killed by removal. Do you guys not understand what your opponent has to do to kill a Loatheb in a tempo deck? Because you have board control on turn 5. You always do in a tempo deck. That's where they're strongest. You play Loatheb, and now your Yeti and your 3-drop like Harvest Golem cannot be killed.
I mean, even if it's only for 1 turn, it's so good. 1 turn is so much in this game. Especially if you have a board.
Such a big deal. Yeah, if you have a board, it's crazy. Yeah. Like, you get 10 damage in for free.
At least.
In a lot of situations, yeah. And against control decks, like, people were saying, it's like, oh, you're not going to have it on turn 5 all the time. Yeah, who cares? You top deck it late game, it's like the best late game 5-drop in the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's even good to top deck on turn 5 as it is to top deck on turn 10.
Yeah, like, Spectral Knight and Loatheb, between them, are the best 5-drops on turn 5, on turn 3, and turn 10. Like, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay, would you innovate this out on turn 3 as Druid?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's a 5-mana 5/5 that's going to hit them in the face for 10 damage.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, what are they going to do to respond to this? Like, especially in the Druid Mirror. If you get this out, if you're going first and they don't coin innervate, you just... Actually, what am I talking about? Like, if your opponent goes coin innervate Yeti, you go, like... And, if they go coin innervate Yeti, they usually don't have anything to do later on.
Yeah.
So you just go innervate Loatheb on turn 3, and they can't rot that. They have to hero power it and use their Yeti.
Or if you have the coin, you can coin innovate Loatheb on turn 2.
2. And in the Druid Mirror, that's the end of the game.
And then he can't play innovate. He can't play it at Yeti.
No, he can. You need to double innervate it to stop him from playing Yeti.
No, he can't. Innovate costs 5.
Yeah, but they can innervate Yeti before you can coin innervate Loatheb. Because he went first.
No, but if you go second.
Yeah, I know, but that would only work if he costs 4 mana, because you can't do that on turn 1, and he can
on turn 2.
Yeah, on turn 2, but he goes first, so he gets the innervate Yeti before you get the coin innervate. But it does stop stop innervate Druid of the Claw and things like that. Like, it just stops it from doing stuff. And the other thing is, people are going to mock me for this, but turn 1 Loatheb is the end of the game against Druid.
Double innovate Loatheb?
Yeah, I know you just spent your entire opening hand, but they are not going to kill that.
Okay.
They can't use Wild Growth, they can't use
Innervate. But, I mean, I guess you have a point.
They can't use Wild Growth, Innervate, or Coin. They're stuck for the next 3 turns. Because then they have to inefficiently use Innervate. And it's pretty miserable. I don't know, it's just like, the earlier you get it down, I think in terms of really, really, really early, I think Spectral Knight is better.
Yeah.
But in terms of the mid game and also the late game, Loatheb is better, because that effect is absurd.
And by the way, if any one of you play Miracle Rogue, don't. Look at this card and then think again.
And Spectral Knight.
Yeah. Prep costs 5. You can't use prep.
I love how people, like, you play Loatheb, and there's actually a guy who was like, it's not a big deal, because you can prep to make it cost 2, and I'm like, no.
You can't backstab it, you can't do shit.
Your prep costs 5.
Your backstab costs 5.
Your backstab costs 5. Your shiv costs 7.
Holy shit. It's so good.
It's so good. Like, how do you deal with this? Let's be honest here. Like, you have to use Argent Commander and a hero power.
Yeah, but that is on turn 8.
Yep.
So if you can't do something like that, it's basically
Spectral Knight. That's how you handle this.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You can use Spectral Knight in a Druid Mirror against Loatheb. You just both hero power each other's thing once, and actually the guy who played Loatheb comes out on top because the guy who hero powered takes it 1 more damage.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, whoa. Like, yeah, Loatheb is the most versatile, most powerful card in the set. It is going to be played in so many decks. Mark my words, it's going to be the most played card from the set.
I think so.
Yep, because it goes in everything.
No, well, in Rush?
Alright, so in Rush decks, they play Doomguard and sometimes Argent Commander. Like, the Rush decks, I think, are going to have to slow down a little bit because there's too many anti-aggro walls. Like, you know, Deathlord, the Ancient Watchers coming back. Even people running the Exploding Ghoul thing are just going to destroy the super, super fast aggro decks.
Yeah.
So if you slow down a little bit, slow down your curve a little bit, run Undertaker as your main, run like a couple more 3-drops, maybe Dark Iron Dwarves and things like that. Loatheb, basically, alright, if you're running an aggro deck and you're ahead on turn 4, you just play Loatheb and you win.
Yeah.
If you're behind, you play Loatheb and it protects what board you still have left.
Unless he has a board.
And it trades with whatever
yeah.
whatever they have that's blocking you. It trades with taunts really well.
Oh yeah, it really does.
So I think this is a very, very powerful card in aggro decks because it stops them from AoEing you. In mid-range and tempo decks, I think mid-range decks do not abuse this as well as tempo decks do, unless you're Druid because you can use ramp. But tempo decks really abuse this because if they have board presence on turn 5, they win. More or less.
Yeah.
And people saying, oh no, you don't win. I'm sorry, yes I do win if I get for 15 damage in for 2 turns.
That is so much value. I mean, one free turn in this game is so much. I mean, imagine if you're playing a turn and you can't play anything. I mean, you lose.
You can play like a Yeti, I guess, but then the Loatheb kills the Yeti.
I mean, if your opponent has a board and you still can't play anything, what are you gonna do?
You have to play like a minion to respond to it, but then they just kill it because they have Loatheb on the board.
Exactly. I mean,
and then you
it's so good.
Yeah, you get hit by their Yeti or their Harvest Golem like 3 times.
Would you pick this in Arena though?
Yes.
To prevent flame strikes?
Flame strikes and also just any AoE actually. Holy Novas, flame strikes, swipes, starfires, holy fire, lightning storm, lightning bolt.
I think there are better legendaries for Arena than Loatheb actually.
There are better legendaries, but it's definitely one of the better 5-drop legendaries.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the only ones that really beat it out are things like Kel'thuzad, things like Sylvanas, Cairn. But these are like the top tier legendaries. There are a lot of legendaries worse than this in Arena.
Oh yeah, like Milhouse.
Or even things like Harrison Jones, which are not horrible in Arena, because weapons are played. Loatheb is still better than that. Like, a 5/5 for 5 is amazing on its own, and that effect stops Flame Strike. And Fireball.
It stops a lot of stuff.
And Pyroblast. And Mind Control.
Okay.
And Shadow Word Death.
So, basically everything. It's a spell.
There's a lot more spells in Arena than people think.
Yeah. Actually, Mind Control is pretty common.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, that's pretty much the entire set for Naxx. Now, I think this has actually been an amazing set. Now,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you forget Maexxna?
Is there Maexxna missing? Really? Give me a second.
Yes, sir.
Let me just go find this. Yes, I did in fact forget the spider. That's how my opinion of that card is. Yeah, my opinion of Maexxna is not that high, let's just say. So while I'm going to fetch that, basically the set in general is actually really, really good, I think, at least.
Yeah.
I found out why I missed Maexxna, by the way. Maexxna is missing from the Hearthstone Naxxramas thing.
It actually isn't. I see it.
Is it just weirdly updated for me?
Yeah.
Okay, that explains a lot, because I think it just glitched out for me. Because that's where I got all the cards from. Yeah, it just glitched out for me. Really?
It's basically a 6 mana 2/8 destroy any minion damaged by this minion.
Basically, it's a 6 mana 2/8 Emperor Cobra.
Yes. And I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either. 6 mana is too much. Give me a second, I'm just getting the card to put it up.
It could work as a sideboard versus Sue.
That is
true. Could work.
But it's a bit too slow.
Yeah, I mean, if the mana cost was like 5/4 and it was like a 2/6 or a 2/7, that could work.
Maybe.
Otherwise, no, I don't like that. I don't like it that much. I've tried Emperor Cobra a lot. I've tried to make it viable, but no.
Yeah, I'm just doing like editing on the video. It's not something I usually do. I would have actually missed Maexxna if you weren't here, so whatever. Anyway, so, alright, so yeah, there's the card up there. Yeah, when it was spoiled, also, that's the obligatory typo, by the way, in a video with no text.
What?
I always make an obligatory typo. In this case, it was an obligatory miss.
Oh, okay.
So, Maexxna, when it was spoiled originally, it was a 5 mana card, and everyone was going nuts.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, 5 mana for Maexxna is really, really good, but 6 mana, that's too slow.
6 is terrible.
Yeah.
People are saying, oh, you play this in Hunter, and I'm like, Savannah High, man.
Yeah, so now Heimer is so much better. It also destroys any minion damaged by that minion.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Like, I don't see a point in playing this card at all.
No.
Constructed, no. Arena, no. There's better stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have like Millhouse and Cho, then yes. But
yeah, exactly. But otherwise, yeah, you don't want to pick that over Loatheb.
No, you don't. Loatheb is just better. All the other 6-drop legendaries are just better.
Yes.
Apart from the
Sylvanas.
Beast, I guess. Like, there's much better stuff you can get.
Yeah, like Sylvanas, Cairn.
Yeah,
so much better.
There's just better stuff.
Yes.
So anyway.
So it's a no for both Constructed and Arena for me.
So anyway, overall, Naxxramas lived up to the hype.
Sure did.
Also, this is also living up to the hype of being what I predicted to be the longest video I've done in months, and it is in fact the longest video I've done in months. We're reaching to almost 2 hours, so I might have to divide it into 2 parts.
Go.
Yeah, I might have to divide it halfway through. So, I don't know, we'll see. I'll see if I can divide it into 2 parts, like an hour long first part and then an hour long second part or something, because 2 hours is a bit too long.
Yeah.
But anyway, the set overall is very, very good. Very, very good. There's a couple random disappointments if I just sort of look for them on the slide thing.
Like Stone Skin Gargoyle.
No, Stone Skin I'm okay with because gimmicky cards I'm fine with. They're fun.
Wait, what do you think about that? Like Zombie Show?
No, Zombie Show I'm not thinking of. I'm thinking of things like Dancing Swords and the Belcher, Sludge Belcher. That's a huge disappointment for me. Shade of Naxxramas. That's like, it's gimmicky, but it's not even good at being gimmicky.
You'd rather play Gruul if you want to play a gimmicky deck with that mechanic.
Play Gruul Conceal for crying out loud. Like,
yeah, Gruul Conceal and then Master of Disguise.
Jungle Panther, or I don't know, play Jungle Panther or Tiger or Ravenholt Assassin or something.
Ravenholt is so much better.
Yeah, why would you ever play Shade in a concealed gimmicky deck? Like, buff everything up. There's no point.
No.
Like, so those are the low points of the set. There's Dancing Swords, there's Shade, there's the Belcher. And then there's some of the things like Anivore Ambusher, which is cool, but just not good. But
it's
then
interesting, but not playable.
Exactly. But then there's the highs of the set, like Mad Scientist, and you know, the Nubrar Weblord, Kel'thuzad, Loatheb, Smiles Ooze. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff.
I can't wait for the Dark Cultist, the priest card. I want to try it out.
Dark Cultist is going to be so good. I do find it funny that it's directly below Dancing Swords alphabetically.
Why?
Like, bad 3-drop with 4 health, good 3-drop with 4 health.
I think Dark Cultist is the best 3-drop in the whole entire game.
Yes.
No doubt, it's the best 3-drop, and that is going to make others that really so strong.
With it. Deathlord and Watcher Druid is better, I think. In Watcher Druid, not in anything else though.
Yeah, but I think Dark Cultist is the best 3-drop overall, and
I agree.
That is going to make Priest so much stronger.
So
Priest is going to be so good.
Yeah, this set has the best 3-drops in the game. It has the most versatile 2-drops in Mad Scientist, which in some situations is an amazing loot hoarder. And it has Nerubian Weblord, or Nerubar, I just call it Nerubian. Nerubian Weblord, it's got the best 5-drops we've ever seen, Spectral Knight and Loatheb. The set is crazy.
There are some really interesting cards.
Yeah, there are some really interesting cards. I love this set. I'm really happy with what they did with it. A couple disappointing cards, but that's what you're going to expect out of any set, so let's be honest here.
Yeah, so if you're tired of the meta today, just wait for one day.
If you're tired of the meta today, it's going to be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so much. This is going to be so much fun.
I mean, they are releasing it wing by wing by wing, but I think Miracle is going to die exactly 1 week from now when Loatheb gets released.
Yeah.
So you're only going to enjoy that for a little bit. And when Deathspite and such comes out, Zoo is going to die off a little bit. They're all going to switch to Death Rattle decks, and there's not going to be nearly as many of them. Paladin is coming back a bit. Priest is coming back a bit. It's just a really cool set, and I'm really happy with Blizzard. Really happy.
You never thought you would say that, right?
Yeah, for the first time in the past couple months. I'm really happy what they did with this set, and I hope that we see more out of them for adventures. I knew that they would balance the game by releasing an overpowered set. To be honest, I'm okay with an overpowered set if the cards are interesting and the cards are interesting.
Yeah.
So that's fine with me. I am going to divide this into 2 parts because no one wants to watch a 2-hour video.
I mean,
so, yeah, I'm going to divide this into 2 parts.
Yeah. I mean, no one wants a 5-drop, 4/6, no effects, no nothing. They don't want vanilla cards.
No, and people definitely do not want a 5-mana 3/5 with a gold shard footman attached to it.
Well, it could work in Zoo. Am I wrong? It couldn't? Okay, I don't know.
It's a 5-mana 3/5 with a gold shard footman strapped to it.
I just try to make it work somehow.
But Doomguard.
Okay, I'll give up. I give up.
Like, it's not only one of the worst constructed cards in the set. In Arena, it's okay, but in Constructed, it's not good, and it's also one of the laziest designed cards in the entire game.
Okay then, okay, I get it.
I hate the Sludge Belcher, okay?
I'll back off.
Anyway, thanks Birdie for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, Birdie's
For
also
having
going to
me.
be on the show match tomorrow, by the way, against Blackout.
That's me.
Yeah, so tune in for that one. It's going to be the last piece of content before. It's basically going to be the last piece of content that isn't Nax related, I think, in terms of Hearthstone in general, because everyone's going to be going crazy on Nax stuff, and that's going to be a weekly series. I'm going to get a pro player on each time to play against an Acebreakers player. Tomorrow is Birdie and Blackout. Next week we're gonna be doing a scrim with a certain team that I'm also going to have a matchup for, and it's going to be really, really awesome. So anyway, thanks for joining me, Birdie. Really, really nice
thanks
to
for
have you
having
on.
me. It was really, really nice to be here and discuss the cards with you.
Yeah.
Hope to be on again.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have anything to talk about, and let's be honest, with the set review, there's a lot, put it in the comment section below. As for now, this has been Jotto and Birdie, signing off.